Good evening, darling. So we're going to be doing this neighborhood tour. I recorded the audio after the fact so that you can sort of hear a little bit clear what I'm saying and also sort of get an idea of the sound sort of in the neighborhood. So we're going to go sort of as quickly as we can through all of this, and I have cut sort of a little bit out just to make it go a little faster since it's such a long video. So this is the main drag roll now, and we're going to sort of cut through some of the neighborhood that I live in right now. So we're just crossing the main road and heading, what direction is that? West. Just heading west now. And I apologize that the camera sort of gets knocked about. Didn't really have a very good way of attaching it to the basket of my bicycle. So sort of any bump in the road, and there are many. You can see there's construction going on right here at this apartment building, and there's a lot of sort of bits of the road that need to be fixed as well, so it's a little bit bumpy. So we're passing sort of one of the more popular sushi restaurants, and we're going to turn now because the light is green, and we'll be passing the sushi restaurant that used to be popular until the one we passed just a moment ago sort of took over. If you look straight ahead, you can see there's actually a cherry blossom still in bloom. It's one of the only ones that survived all of the rain that we've had recently, so we had about 3 or 4 days before we were completely out of cherries. So we're headed south just so that we sort of keeping conscious of the direction that we're going. And we're heading very close right now to the river, and in just a moment we're actually going to cross the road, and we're going to travel along the river instead of crossing the river itself. The police station's just beyond the bridge there, but there's not sort of very much other than residential area. So we're going to just take this little path here, and pardon this gentleman who's going to be talking to, I think, himself. So as you can see, it's a very nice clean river. You can always see to the bottom even when it's rather sort of deep. So even right now, if we were to actually stop and get out, you could see clear to the bottom, which is one of the things I've really enjoyed about living both in Korea and Japan, is how clean it is. Now there's a bit of a family festival going on here. We're very close to the city hall. I'm not going to show you the big amount going off to the right, but sort of to the left, you can see all these families. There's a fishing demonstration going on here, so you can sort of see a little bit of that going on. And then some of the schools actually have sent their students, mostly middle school, from the look of the uniforms, to participate, so that was rather nice. This river and fishing is sort of very important. This river goes quite a ways through this area of Hokkaido, sort of starting in the mountains. There's a lake, Shikotsu, which is at the base of a glacial lake, sort of around a lot of mountains, including our active volcano, and it sort of runs all the way through the big city of Sapporo. So we're turning now sort of north and heading along. This used to be sort of a popular sort of oh dear, this man was so nice. I told him to go ahead, but he sort of backed up and refused. So kind. So continuing on here, we are going through sort of the old shopping district from back when there's a bit of an economic bubble. Of course now it's sort of burst, so we're actually right here in front of what used to be the very large mall, and now only sort of the elderly still go there. A lot of the shops around here are more traditional, and unfortunately most of them are going out of business as people are sort of moving away. So continuing just about another block further down on the same road, and you can hear this is one of the only streets that sort of plays a lot of music at you, which is sort of nice. It's not something you typically have. Sort of shops will play music at you, but not usually just the street. Now this bakery, you see there's a gentleman going in here. This is the one of the two most famous in Hokkaido. This is the Morimoto Bakery, and it's actually it was founded here. This is the original shop, and now of course it's a chain. So we're going to just go ahead and cross the street now, and then we're going to be headed going east. And this street here is one of the streets that has many of the recycle shops, which is sort of a second-hand store. I've heard them called many things, like thrift shop or something like that, perhaps is a better translation. So we're going to go along here. We're heading more towards sort of the downtown area right now, and we'll do a little bit of going around there. And you can see in this is a little park here that it's rather long, but we're not really going to spend any time there. Just going to sort of proceed onwards, since we're already about halfway through this video and it's so long, and I am sorry. This is why I didn't want to do it walking. I tried to do it before, darlings, and it was so long. I just thought it was too much. So we're passing some of the bicycle shops now, and there are many. I think most people use the bicycle to get around, except in winter, of course. You have to have a car because there's at least 6 months of snow. So we're going to head now north again. We're heading now towards the Eon, which is now where everyone sort of shops, instead of where we were before. We're not actually going to go up to it. It's just so crowded and such a pain, so we're just going to ignore it altogether. You can see there's taxis. I think most of the taxis just sort of sit there and at the station. And you see there's lots of little bits of greenery just sort of growing out of the sidewalk. It's one of the things I really enjoy. It's just sort of how life just springs from everything, including all the little cracks in the concrete. So we're heading now back south along the main drag, and fortunately there's a lot of construction here on this particular part, so it's a little narrow. The station's off to our left, and there'll be a ramen shop across the street to the right, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and end here, darling. So have a good evening, and